sun goes down, you're gonna find me just hanging round. This nightlife, it ain't no good life, but it's my life. Hey everyone, this is Jessica Lee. I'm here by request. I have a piano down here. I'm going to sing I Believe in the Sun, a song about faith as an intro to a song that I wrote called Love No Hands. It's about not holding on, love unconditionally, no strings attached, nothing in return, loving with only the intention to love without expectation. So I believe in the sun into Love No Hands by request. I believe in the sun, even when it isn't shining. I believe in love, even when there's no one there. And I believe in God. I believe in God, even when God is silent. I believe in miracles. I believe in light. I believe we can always find a way. I believe that nothing is impossible. I believe that nothing is impossible. That all things are possible with God. Love no strings, love no hands, no holding on. Love no strings, love no hands, just touch the song. I leave, and yet my heart won't go. I'll always love you so. Love no strings, love no hands, no holding on. Love no strings, love no hands, just touch through song. A warm hello and a glass of wine. Wish for joy through time. What is this fire of love? Freedom fierce, comfort soft. Is it the thrill of wind against your skin? Is it the softness of the teacher's touch? Love no strings, love no hands, no holding on. Love
Hello to all of our BPTV fans, YouTube fans, Facebook fans. I'm Alan Levine, the Talking Machine. I'm doing another by request show with my co-producer and co-host, Jessica Lee. We have a great theme for you, which I'm 100% behind it. And you'll find out why that I'm all in on this great lady we're going to bring to the show. Jess, first of all, how are you, my friend?
Al, hey, I'm great. Spring is springing.
Yes.
So I'm so happy about that. Spring is springing. I'm looking forward to a great spring and summer. I'm wishing everybody a lot of health and happiness and peace this summer and spring. I think we're getting in the warm weather months and Al, it's been 3 long pandemic years, so we're looking forward
Yes.
to some hopeful, joyful, better days, healthier, happier days. So we're going to have some beautiful by request songs this show, and we have a very special guest. And so I don't know if you want to say something a little bit special about her before we bring her on and let everybody see and hear from her.
Well, I teased them a little on why I'm 100% behind her. But first, I do my traditional loose leaf green tea. It's Lung Ching fourth grade.
To
Keeps
your
me
health.
healthy. Yes, and especially with my allergies. What are you sipping on, Jess?
So this says it doesn't matter how much you have, it's how much you shared with others. And it
That
doesn't
is
matter what kind
perfect.
of house you have, but whether your love has made your place a home. So I have a cup of super hot water. I'm a singer, Al. I'm just hydrating
Oh,
right now.
that's very good.
Hydrating today. So to your health, to your happiness, huh?
To all of us. And Michelle's a great guest. I only know her for a week now.
Okay, so how did you meet her? Tell us how you met her and let's bring her on.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, with Joanne Forrester and Bonnie DiCarlo, they did a great celebrate and share event. And I was honored to film it and get the interviews and everything there. And my fee was a salmon lunch. So I did very well. Thanks to all my fans. Now they know. And I know Jess is so modest, but she got an award there. And that was a great part of it. Then another lady was honored. I'm not going to say her name yet because I'll let her introduce herself. And she has this great nonprofit where she helps kids to read books, and they wouldn't accept my money. So I ended up one of my favorite childhood books with my kids. So I went on something called Amazon and I bought not one, not two, but 10 books.
Oh.
So we will have to meet. And that's why I salute you. And I'll just tease Michelle. Jess is going to start the interview right now.
All right, so Michelle, we have you with us. As Al said, please introduce yourself and introduce your new nonprofit, which is so exciting. I'm just learning about it myself.
My name is Michelle Knoll, and I have a nonprofit called Progress Through Pages. And I started it in 2018, right shortly before the pandemic. But yeah, I've still managed to keep going during the pandemic. The concept of the nonprofit is to get books that someone might otherwise throw out or discard. And so mostly gently used. Occasionally I get donations of new books. Like I guess I'm going to be getting some Cat in the Hats that are new, which is great. And I redistribute those books. I sort them into age groups, and I redistribute those books to schools, organizations, daycares, where children might not otherwise own a book. And there are a lot of skills that children need to learn when they learn to read, and they get those from handling books. Children learn how to turn pages, first usually board pages and then paper pages, but they also learn names of things when parents or caregivers point to the pictures in the book and name them for the children. And then the child repeats those names or learns those names, and then they point, and then the parent names for them. So there's a lot of really nice social and bonding kind of opportunities for parents and caregivers around reading. But the more children get to handle books and to have books and to explore them, the better they're going to do when they become readers. And that's all really what we call an education. I'm an educator. My undergraduate degree is elementary education from the University of Pittsburgh, and my master's is in early intervention, also from the University of Pittsburgh. And we call those early literacy skills. And they're also developmental milestones. We think of walking and talking as the big developmental milestones, but things like turning pages, pointing to pictures, repeating names of things, those are all developmental milestones as well.
So Michelle, books for children who have no books, and you're essentially saving these books because otherwise they just may be discarded, right? Thrown away, destroyed. What was the motivation, the inspiration to start this up in the first place? Why did you do it?
As an early interventionist, I worked in the field for about 16 years. That's what I got my master's in at the University of Pittsburgh. And that is a program, a lot of people don't know about it if you've never had any experience with it. We all know about ADA, the American Disabilities Act. That covered older individuals. So at some point, people realized that very young children with disabilities needed a little bit of help, a little bit of extra help, their parents themselves. And so another program was written, and it's a federal program. It's called IDEA, and it is for very young children, and it runs from birth through the age of 5. And I specialized in birth through 3. And what in Pennsylvania, there are different models all over the country. Pennsylvania, in Allegheny County, it's run by the county and through an umbrella organization called the Alliance for Infants. So if anybody has a child that has a disability or a learning delay or is born prematurely, they can always call them and get an evaluation. And those children, I would see them in their homes. And part of what I was charged as a developmental specialist in doing was to present early literacy skills. And early literacy skills are those things I highlighted, just handling a book, naming pictures, verbal exchanges with family or caregiver. And so when I would go into homes, I often found there were no books at all. Children didn't have books to practice with. And I saw that in daycares as well. There were daycares that I went into that did not have books for children to use. A lot of times people say, well, they tear the pages, and we now have a great many board books. When I my children were little, there weren't as many board books as there are today, but there are board books. And usually if children grow up handling books, they are less prone to tear the pages. So really was my motivation. I really thought that the need I would see would be greatest would be in that very early population, birth to 3. But as it turned out, there are lots of school-age children who don't own books as well. So a lot of my focus since I started this nonprofit has been on children in schools. And, we've donated to Stowe Rock School District, Duquesne, Cornell. We're about to make a donation to Northgate School District, to Ambridge Bank Street School. So there are lots of schools where we can't assume that the children own books. There may be, 1 or 2 books, but my mom was an educator and I had a great many books that I could explore as a child. So it's nice to have an opportunity for children to be able to self-select a book.
Yeah. And, I have a lot of physician friends who are worried about the impact of kids being on screens for too long, too much. So reading from a device like an iPad or a cell phone, a smartphone, or computer. A lot of the physicians are now saying, with early childhood and kids, that screen time now is under scrutiny for health reasons for children and needs to be limited. Books are even more important now, right? So Al, I think this is fantastic that Al has really been singing your praises, Michelle, and really excited about your nonprofit. And so, the last question really is, how can the community best support you? Obviously, you might have a need for funds. How can they write a check, donations, referrals to organizations that have children in need of books? Like, how can the community list the ways where people can really tangibly help you?
Well, I don't take money. That simplifies things.
I just take books.
I just take books. And I
Not
don't
even
take,
a check. So
no,
you just take
no.
donations,
I
book
just take
donations.
donations of books, and I don't take a salary, just so everyone knows that. This is purely volunteer on my part as well. What I do is I take books that people don't want anymore, and I take books from libraries. During the pandemic, many libraries couldn't have their book sales, their spring and fall book sales. So they were real happy to get rid of the extra books that they didn't have room for in their storage. And so what I ask is, if you know that your library or a local area is doing a book sale, sale, or if there's a donation that they'd like to make, that's one way you could donate books to me. Sometimes I've had neighborhood associations do book drives for me. I've had schools do book drives. So it's a very nice thing for young children, in school age children, to know that other children are not as fortunate, and they donate the books. And a great many of those books, some families are buying new books, but it wouldn't have to be a new book. It could be a gently used book without any writing or torn pages. So if you want to contact me, you can contact me through a Facebook page, which is called Progress Through Pages, or you could email me at Knoll, KNOLLM @gmail.com, or you could call me at 412-389-1387, and I can arrange to meet you anywhere. I have picked up books in Wendy's parking lots and Sheetz parking lots. I have had people leave them on my front porch. They leave them on their front porch, and I pick them up. I have gone to libraries when they have their spring sales or fall sales, and when they have leftover books. And usually I'm trying to pull out of the parking lot, and they're shoving a few more books and boxes in the back of my car. So, and I've had libraries even deliver things to my house. I had Bethel Park Library, for instance, during the pandemic, was very generous. And one of their board members arranged for a van to bring many, many, many books to my house. And the young gentleman who drove the van put them on my front porch, and I was able to sort those books. And I contacted a lot of different places. And at the time, Beaver County Head Start needed books. And so I was able to supply books to every Head Start in Beaver County, largely based on donations that I got from Bethel Park Library that time. It
Well,
just,
to interrupt you, we have a great
Yeah.
library staff. I'm a trustee on the library
Oh.
board. I just got put on it this year, so I've always been about books, and I read every day. And we just do great things here in Bethel through the
That's
library
great.
and other things. So I'm
That's
honored
great.
to hear that.
Yeah.
And this is a BPTV show out of our Bethel Park studio. So if I can help promote good people in Bethel Park, I appreciate your kind words. And we're going to have to meet in a Wendy's halfway between us, because you're out north and I'm south. So we'll have to figure something out.
Well, I serve kids
So
in Bethel
Michelle,
Park, so-
Michelle,
Yes.
so just so everybody gets what you just said, though, the way they can support you is to donate books,
Books.
new books, gently used books.
Right.
They can donate. And so everybody really gets the other big point out. This is all volunteer.
That's
You're
right.
not
I
raising-
have,
you're-
yes. My board is volunteer. I have volunteers. For a while, we read before COVID in Northgate School District in Stowe Rocks. They were volunteers that went weekly or bi-weekly and read to children. It's all volunteer. It's just a way to help the community. And another way you had mentioned, if you know of a place that needs books, please let me know that as well. We donated to Jeremiah's place based on, that's an emergency daycare in the city of Pittsburgh, based on someone saying that would be a great place to donate. So just kind of having people suggest things is often helpful as well.
So I have to say, this morning I got up early, and what was on my mind when I was kind of meditating a little bit and praying and singing my morning routine, the concept of true friends. What is a true friend? And Michelle, you're a true friend to so many. What you're doing is just so pure. It's from your heart. You want to make a difference. The volunteers who you work with and inspire, and it's awesome. I mean, I think what you're doing is such a wonderful thing. So Progress Through Pages, and everybody can find you on Facebook. Are you working on a website? Do you?
My goal
webpage?
is, I wasn't going to do a website just because I was trying to keep everything sort of simple, streamlined, and I didn't realize we've now given out more than 10,000 books since the
Wow,
winter
that is great.
of 2018, and I didn't really think it would be this big. So I have to say that, I mean, some years I've given out thousands of books just one year alone. So when I first started, my concept was very small. Let's just get some of these books that are not being used to children who don't have any books. So now it's grown so big that I have many donations to many different schools, multiple donations. We usually don't do high school kids, but Avonworth High School is reducing the size of the footprint of their library, and I happen to know the librarian. She was very nice to say that she had these books that she needed to move along. I was able to get them to Ambridge, to students in Ambridge High School. So, and they're going to use them on a Title I evening. So that kind of sometimes you're facilitating things that happen sort of spontaneously because you happen to know someone or you hear that someone has a need. So she had a need to get rid of books, and Ambridge had a need for students to have books.
Well, so for now, Facebook has the Progress Through Pages Facebook page. People can go there, and yeah, maybe in the future you will have a little web page someplace to show people how to connect. But to your success, I think it's wonderful what you've done. I'm a fan. And thank you so much for stopping by to share this information with us. Al, I think maybe more books are in your future flowing through this show to Michelle.
Yeah,
I'll just share this one book at a time. I went 10 because she said up to 10 people. And I'm very literal with stuff. So I had to do that. I will give you a call. And thank you, Michelle, on short notice coming to do our great show with us.
Well, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be with you.
All right, Al. Well, I guess we're going to have to be inspired by all of that beautiful volunteerism, really, and just seeing a need. And seeing a need and going and meeting it, creating a lot of hope and good vibes in the neighborhoods they're serving. So we'll have to have a little musical celebration as well, and we'll share another Bible Quest song celebrating kind of that spirit of friendship and service. And Al, I just want to say to you, you're out in the community, and thank you for being out in the community, serving the community. You got to know Michelle because you were with BPTV and filming a wonderful women's celebratory month event.
Yes.
And I just thank you for your service, and Dave Cable and BPTV as well. And want to just finally say thank you to everybody who keeps sending song requests in, lyrics with a message, music with a message for the times for them. And so I look forward to continuing on and really honoring more of these music with a message song requests for people as well.
And you're so welcome, Jess, and thanks for doing these shows with us. Your themes are off the charts, so I can't wait to see the inspiration that comes out for this show to complete it. So I'm waiting with bated breath.
Next song on its way now.
I'm gonna love you like nobody's loved you. Come rain or come shine, high as a mountain, deep as a river. Come rain or come shine. I guess when you met me, it was just one of those things. But don't ever bet me, 'cause I'm gonna be true. If you let me, you're gonna love me like nobody's loved me. Come rain or come shine, happy together, unhappy together, won't it be fine? Yeah. Days may be cloudy or sunny, in or out of the money, but I'm with you always, I'm with you, rain or shine. Hey. I am with you always, I'm with you, rain or shine, rain or shine.
And goodbye to all of you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your suggestions of by request. We will carry on whenever the Spirit moves us. So keep on sending those. And until the next time, thank you again for watching.